之背影是谁？
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Review 5 Minutes YouTube channel. In the latest episodes of Renegade Immortal, after Wang Lin pulled out the moon-gazing bone donghua and absorbed it, we finally witnessed the Heaven-Defying Bead reach completion. From that moment on, a mysterious door was opened. Inside that door, Wang Lin received guidance on cultivation and on how to break through to the third step. Even more shocking, just as the door was closing, Wang Lin saw a mysterious figure standing within it, a figure with terrifying eyes. So, who exactly was that mysterious figure? I have already made a separate analysis video about this detail, and according to my analysis, that figure is none other than Feng Zun. But why was Feng Zun hiding inside the Heaven-Defying Bead? And just how terrifying was his true strength? In today's video, let's explore this mystery together with Review 5 Minutes. First of all, we need to understand one thing. The mysterious door that Wang Lin saw and entered was not something ordinary. It was only thanks to the opportunity brought to him by the Heaven-Defying Bead that he was able to see it at all. After that event, Wang Lin became extremely curious about the true origin of the Heaven-Defying Bead, as well as the secret behind that mysterious door. However, it was not until thousands of years later, after he was severely injured by Shui, Daozi nearly killed, and turned into a stone statue for a long period of time, that he finally met the conditions to step through that door again. This was also the first time Wang Lin truly entered the world behind the door and met the legendary figure known as the First Lord of the Sealed Realm. It was there that Feng Zun slowly revealed the entire reason why he had been hiding inside the Heaven-Defying Bead. Feng Zun was originally a disciple of the Seven Dao sect on the Immortal Firmament continent. At the same time, he was also the First Lord of the Sealed Realm and the previous owner of the Heaven-Defying Bead. Long ago, the seven-colored Immortal, Venerable the Master of the Cave World, accidentally obtained several supreme treasures that flew out from the ancient god realm. These treasures included the Heaven-Defying Bead, half of a compass, a directional needle, and many other precious items. In order to study these treasures, he immediately hid himself inside the cave world that he had personally created. At that time, the seven-colored Immortal Venerable devoted all his effort to researching the supreme treasures in his possession. During that era, the cave world had not yet been divided into the inner realm and the outer realm, as it would be later. The entire world only consisted of countless ancient stars and one sacred land known as the Ancient Celestial Realm. The seven-colored Immortal Venerable was one of the ancient celestial emperors who ruled over that place. Under his command was the Seven Dao sect, which was responsible for teaching and guiding all living beings. Feng Zun was one of the members of this sect. Above Feng Zun, there were also the four great battle generals, along with many immortal concubines who served the seven-colored Immortal Venerable. At first, everything was peaceful, but as time passed, the ambition of the seven-colored Immortal Venerable grew greater and greater. In order to quickly nurture the heavenly Dao, he joined forces with Li Guang and plotted to take the life of the Dao ancient Ye Mo. Their goal was to use Ye Mo's ancient god blood essence to nourish the heavenly Dao. That great battle shook heaven and earth. The starry sky itself seemed to collapse. In the end, the seven-colored Immortal Venerable was heavily injured by Ye Mo. Before Ye Mo fell and died, he used all of his blood essence to create 3,000 ancient clans. This was also the origin of the ancient gods within the cave world. Later, because his injuries were far too severe, the seven-colored Immortal Venerable had no choice but to enter closed-door cultivation, to heal himself while continuing to comprehend the secrets of the Heaven-Defying Bead. However, what he never expected was that betrayal would come from someone extremely close to him. The Dao Maiden of the seven-colored Immortal, Venerable secretly revealed the news that he possessed a supreme treasure to Lian Daofei on the Immortal Firmament continent. The moment Lian Daofei heard that there was a chance to seize such a treasure, he immediately brought his trusted subordinate and Xiao Hong rushing straight into the cave world with killing intent. The situation became even worse when the immortal concubines under the seven-colored Immortal Venerable also betrayed him one after another. At that critical moment, with internal rebellion and external invasion erupting at the same time, the seven-colored Immortal Venerable was ultimately destroyed and split into 3 souls and 7 fragments. After that battle, the ancient celestial realm was divided into 2 parts. As time passed, Those two parts gradually developed into what everyone would later know as the inner realm and the outer realm. The Heaven-Defying Bead fell into the hands of the forces of the ancient celestial realm and the inner realm, while the three souls of the seven-colored immortal, venerable, each walked completely different paths. The first soul reincarnated as the seven-colored Taoist. This was also the earliest soul to awaken among the three. After many years of building his power, he gradually gained control over almost the entire outer realm. Not only did he force the immortal concubines who had betrayed him in the past to submit to him, he also subdued the trusted subordinate left behind by Lian Daofei. After occupying the outer realm for many years, the seven-colored Taoist never stopped searching for the other two souls. As long as he could devour the second and third souls, he would be able to merge again and become a complete new seven-colored immortal venerable. This was the goal he had pursued for countless years. Because of that, every movement related to the other two souls remained within his watch. Meanwhile, the second soul in the inner realm awakened one step later than the seven-colored Taoist. He only retained part of the memories from his previous life, and his strength was extremely weak. In order to avoid being discovered and devoured by the seven-colored Taoist, he could only reincarnate again and again to hide his tracks. During one of his reincarnations, he used the identity of the seven-colored immortal venerable to deliver an important order to Feng Zun. That order was simple but extremely important. Take the Heaven-Defying Bead into the inner realm, lead all cultivators there, and resist the invasion of the outer realm. After receiving this command, Feng Zun did not hesitate. He immediately brought the Heaven-Defying Bead to the inner realm and opened a glorious era that belonged to him alone. This was also the period that pushed Feng Zun's name to the peak of the cave world's history. First, Feng Zun established the famous Four Great Immortal Realms. Then he set up the Sealed Realm Grand Formation at the border between the inner realm and the outer realm. During the First Great War between the inner realm and the outer realm, Feng Zun personally led the cultivators into bloody battle. In the end, he successfully forced back the army of the outer realm and protected the inner realm. However, at the critical moment of the Second Great War between the inner realm and the outer realm, an unexpected disaster occurred. Shui Daozi, the servant whom Feng Zun trusted the most, had long held dissatisfaction in his heart. Because of this, he was tempted by Zhang Zun of the outer realm and eventually chose to betray his own master. At the exact moment when Feng Zun was in closed-door cultivation, trying to comprehend the secrets of the Heaven-Defying Bead Shui, Daozi launched a fatal sneak attack from behind. After being severely injured, Feng Zun was then surrounded and attacked by Zhang Zun and a group of immortal concubines. Although his strength was heaven-shaking, he still could not withstand so many powerful enemies at the same time. In the end, Feng Zun fell and died in that battle. But a legendary figure like him had already prepared a path of retreat. In the final moment before his divine soul completely scattered, Feng Zun sent the remaining fragment of his soul into the Heaven-Defying Bead. At the same time, he relied on his life-bound magic treasure to barely protect the last trace of his divine soul. Feng Zun's only wish was to find a worthy successor. That person had to inherit his will and lead the inner realm to victory in the Third Great War between the inner realm and the outer realm. After Feng Zun fell, the inner realm completely lost its supreme leader. The once glorious Four Great Immortal Realms also collapsed one after another, eventually becoming the shattered star regions we see today. From that point on, the Heaven-Defying Bead drifted throughout the world. From the Luotian star domain, it changed owners many times before drifting into the Alliance star domain. Finally, the Heaven-Defying Bead fell onto a small planet known as Vermilion Bird Planet. There, Situ Nan accidentally obtained this supreme treasure. After many layers of karma and overlapping opportunities, the Heaven-Defying Bead eventually ended up in Wang Lin's hands. Now that we have talked about why Feng Zun was hiding inside the Heaven-Defying Bead, let's take a look at just how terrifying his strength truly was. First, we need to understand that Feng Zun was not defeated in a fair one-on-one battle. He was surrounded and attacked by Zhang Zun and many other powerful cultivators. On top of that, he had already been ambushed by Shui Daozi beforehand. This clearly shows that if it had been a one-on-one fight, Zhang Zun was simply not Feng Zun's opponent. Zhang Zun of the Outer Realm was already a third-step cultivator. He had reached the peak of the Void Profound Realm and had passed 3 profound tribulations. Even if we consider the fact that Zhang Zun's strength continued to increase after Feng Zun's death, Feng Zun's power while he was alive must have at least been between the late void profound stage, and the perfect void profound stage. According to many speculations at his peak, Feng Zun may have even passed 4 to 6 profound tribulations. That was an extremely rare level within the entire cave world. Just by looking at the people around Feng Zun, we can already understand how powerful he was. Renegade Immortal Emperor, who was regarded as the strongest expert of the 4 great immortal realms, was only his disciple. Shuidozi, the person who later pushed Wang Lin into danger many times and nearly killed him, was actually only a servant under Feng Zun. Even ancient god Tuosen, a powerful expert who possessed the bloodline of an 8-star, ancient god and once hunted Wang Lin for thousands of years, was not worth mentioning in front of Feng Zun. Therefore, among the characters who have officially appeared at the current stage of the Renegade Immortal animation, even though Feng Zun has only shown his back, he can already be considered one of the strongest beings ever mentioned. His influence stretches across many eras. It even directly affects the fate of Wang Lin and the entire inner realm later on. It can be said that Feng Zun's early appearance has opened the door to many secrets for Wang Lin, especially regarding his future path toward the 3rd step. So, what other mysteries are you curious about? Make sure to follow the Review 5 Minutes YouTube channel for more details. Goodbye, and see you again in the next video.